Thanks,
Thank
Julie.
you.
So, good afternoon, everyone. Today, we are going to learn about Internet of Things. So, we all aware that Internet is used to connect the computers across the world, and that is used. It is helping us to communicate data, transfer the files, etc. And so, for all those things, it is used for us. So, here things refers as a physical object. So the purpose of Internet of Things is like enabling the physical objects to connect with the internet and transfer the data from the physical object to the internet and vice versa. That is the purpose or the objective of the Internet of Things. So let's go ahead. So these physical objects that can be connected through wireless or wired or through Bluetooth. It can be connected via any of the possible methods. So the first IoT device is implemented in Carnegie Mellon University in 1982. So not earlier, it has been implemented in 1982 itself. So what is the implementation was like in the Carnegie Mellon University, the computer science graduates, they were in the lab that which is in third floor. They need to come down and do for a long walk in order to get a iced Coca-Cola from the Coca-Cola vending machine. So even after a long walk, also sometimes they might not get the Coca-Cola since it might not be available on that particular vending machine, or it might not be very cold. So in order to avoid this one, what they did is like they attached a electronic board in that vending machine, Coca-Cola vending machine. So what it will do is like it will automatically detect either the Coca-Cola is available in the vending machine or it is cold or not. Based on that one, so each and every student when they are coming out to get a Coca-Cola, they will be verifying in their internet in the application either the vending machine has the Coca-Cola and is it is iced or not. So that is the first implementation happened in 1982 in the Carnegie Mellon University. But the term Internet of Things that is provided in 1997 by the Kevin Ashton. He is a British technologist. So he used this word Internet of Things in when he was working in the company called Procter and Gamble. So when he was working there in a conference, he used this word, and later it emerged in 2008 to 9. So Cisco is referring this 2008 to 9 is the born of the IoT. So this is the basic intro about Internet of Things. So as I mentioned earlier, enabling the interconnection and the integration of the physical world into the cyberspace. That is the primary objective of the IoT. So we will see the architecture of IoT, how it is architected. So basically, there are four layers. One is like a smart device or sensor layer. So this is the smart device or sensor layer. It will contain sensor and actuators. So basically, we all know that sensors are like they will detect the uh, heat, temperature, or humidity, or the light, so smoke. So these are the sensors they will detect automatically. And whereas these actuators, what it will do is like once it gets the command like increase the temperature or decrease the temperature or switch it off the AC, something like that. Once it gets the command, it would automatically react to that one. So sensors, they will basically detect the details and pass the information to that IoT gateway, whereas actuators, they will do the actual work to execute the command whatever it gets that one. So that is about sensors and actuators. This is the basic layer. This is the first layer. It will communicate with the IoT gateway, which is the second layer. Gateways and networks layer. Gateways and networks layer is like it refers the internet connectivity as well as the IoT gateway. So this IoT gateway, basically that is a device or a software. It can be a software. It could be attached along with the device, or it could be in a separate device. It could be implemented as a separate device. This IoT gateway, what it will do, it will get the information from the sensors and it will send the data to the cloud or to that user's device, and vice versa it will do it. it will get the information from the user's application, and it will pass on to the sensors and actuators. That is the purpose of the gateways and networks layers one. Third one is management service layer. So the data will be sent from the IoT gateway to the cloud data analytics software. So till it is till it reached in the data analytics software, it would be like simply a data. So some analytics will happen over on the data, then that will be converted into some information, useful information, and those information will be populated in dashboards. And this particular management service layer is very much important for the companies, because basically these companies, what they will do is like they will be getting all this data in order to understand how the system behaves, how the consumable goods, how it behaves, anything going wrong, do we need to some is it possible to adjust its behavior. So it is very much important for the companies to understand about the behavior or the functionality of the device. That is the third layer, management service layer. Fourth one is application layer. This application layer is like a application which can be installed in the user's device, like a tablet or a smartphone or a smartwatch, and using that one the user can control or modify the settings of the IoT device. Basically what they will be doing, like assume that we have implemented AC, smart AC in our home. So we came to office and then we realized like we forgot to switch it off the AC. Then what we can do is like we can simply open our smartphone, log into the application, then we can identify what is the state of the AC, and we can simply switch it off the AC from our home. So that particular application is what they are saying about in the application layer. So let me move on to the next one. So we will consider a sample implementation of the IoT. Consider we migrated or converted our office into a smart building. What would happen when an employee arrives earlier, like 5 a.m. in the morning? Like once they are coming in the car, the exterior lights, they will sensor that car has been arrived, some employees coming in, so that the exterior lights that gets turned on. Subsequently the security systems verifies the user and gives access. Then the employee might go to some flow. Based on where he is going, the lights gets on, and the HVAC system, like heating, ventilation, and the air condition system, it's adjust the airflow as well as the temperature. Assume that there is a meeting at 10 a.m. So when the people enters in the conference room, the switch, the lights gets turned on automatically, as well as based on the number of people in the room, the temperature gets adjusted automatically. Subsequently, if the people comes out from the conference room, the switches gets lights gets turned off, as well as the temperature that AC is turned off. So in the afternoon, based on the sunlight, the smart light bulbs, what they will do, like they will be adjusting their brightness accordingly in order to save the energy. Similarly, in the evening, so most of the employees might start leaving from the office. Once, if some employees in the particular area of the office, they are alone, the lights gets turned on, and subsequently, if everyone comes out of the office, then everything switched off, like ACs as well as like security, and everything goes off. So this is the implementation, sample implementation of a IoT in a building. So these are the application areas of IoT. Like these are some of the application areas of IoT, like smart living. So ACs, refrigerators, light bulbs, logs. So these all comes under smart living. Smart cities. If it is smart cities, the water supply, traffic, parking, lighting, everything will be managed efficiently. So The IoT system, what it will do is like when it has to provide the water supply, and the traffic will be managed automatically based on the length of the traffic. Everything it will be handled automatically. This IoT plays a major role in smart industry as well as in smart health. So in the industry, what it will do is like robotics comes under IoT. So these IoT sensors, they would be placed on each and every section of the manufacturing industry. Subsequently, what it will do is like it will verifying the behavior of the machine, and if there is any fault is going to occur, it would immediately alert the engineers, and the engineers can fix that one from the remote. They no need to come and fix that one in that location. Either instead of that one, they could be fixing that one from remote itself. So that is the main advantage in the industry. Similarly, for smart health, there were a lot of wearable biosensors were found, which would be attached in, with the patient's body. So basically, what it will do is like it will detect the heart rate, pulse rate, and other essential information. It will keep on tracking them. If any deviation happens in that patient's body, immediately it will alert to the doctor as well as to the family members. They will subsequently take care of the patient or the family member. That is what in that smart health IoT plays a major role. Similarly, in smart energy, smart meter is something like right now this gas and electricity, these are like we need to get it in a container or something like that. Whereas the electricity is a one-way communication where it would be manufactured and it would be transmitted through transformers to the consumers. Either it could be home or it could be a, industry. If the smart meters helps to read the amount of gas that is utilized, amount of electricity that is utilized, and it will help the consumers to plan their usage accordingly. And smart grid, that one is like as I said earlier, right now this electricity is like a one-way communication. So from the manufacturing unit to it moves on to that consumer location. Whereas once the smart grid is implemented, the usage of the consumers, that will be moved, that will be transmitted from the house to subsequently to that manufacturing unit. So based on the consumer's need, the manufacturing unit, what they can do is they can increase the productivity accordingly. And right now, if there is any transformer, that is like if something goes wrong in the transformer, the home or the industry which is connected with that transformers, they will not get the electricity. Once the smart grid is implemented, it would automatically go to the next transformer, and it would attach, it would subsequently go to the other grid, and it would start providing the electricity to the user. So that way the smart grid would really help the consumers in an efficient manner. And in agriculture also, it plays a major role. So in the farmland, there will be sensors which will automatically check that moisture and everything. If some temperature is reached, it would automatically turn on the water to that area, so that it would be really helpful for the farmers. So they no need to verify each and everything. It would get automated. So these are some of the application areas. I haven't covered everything on this one. There are a lot of areas available apart from this. So let's come to the advantages of IoT. So what are the primary advantages of IoT? The first thing is like data. Data are always valuable. So most of the companies, they would like to know what happened in that particular device or the object when it gets failed. So that is the primary objective, and so that this data is very much essential for them in order to understand how it behaves and if anything goes wrong on the device. So that is the primary objective or advantages of the IoT. Next one is, since these IoT devices, they are connected with the internet, they will be having a IP address, so that they can be controlled from anywhere in the world. simply we can open our smartphone and start controlling our the devices. That is the next one. And since they have the data on their hand, the companies, they can improve the quality as well as reliability of the product. That is one of the advantage. And the fourth point is like understand the behavior of device or people. So right now we are talking about Internet of Things, whereas the next section of this one is going to be Internet of Behavior, where the companies will work on and do a more analytics on the data in order to understand the behavior of the device as well as the people, so that they can send suggestion or they can market their product based on the users people's behavior. So that is one of the main advantages for the company. Subsequently, this saves times as well as reduces money. Reduces money mainly plays a vital role in reducing the human effort in industries. So these are the advantages of IoT. So let's see what are the disadvantages of IoT. One is privacy. Since we are using the smart AC or a lot of smart IoT devices, so we might not sure what all the data that is collected. So they will start collecting some privacy information also, and they can send the data to their server, so that we don't have any control of what all the data that is getting collected from us. That is one of the disadvantages in IoT. And the second one is data safety. Even if the companies collected a lot of data, after that also we are not sure whether they provided they added enough security in order to save the data that they have collected. Someone might hack their system and they could get the data which could result in some vulnerable stuff. So that is the second disadvantage. And third one is like compatibility or no standards. Right now we do have standards for USBs or Bluetooths, but for these IoT devices or the sensors and the way that they are communicating, they don't have any standard for that one. So that is one of the disadvantage. And fourth one is like complexity of bug. Assume that you have a smart refrigerator. So this smart refrigerator, what it will do is like it will automatically detect the milk packet in your fridge. If it is empty, it would send the message to you. So if you have added yours as well as your spouse number, the mobile number, then it would trigger the SMS, and you might both might get the milk packet. Subsequently, it could have been ended up that way. Or if you provided the option to order it automatically through online, if there is a bug, it could end up in placing multiple orders. So this is one of the major disadvantages in IoT. And last one is like growth of IoT. Right now in 2021, we are around like 35 billion devices are connected. It is going to be doubled in 2025. So this is emerging very fast. So far, we haven't started using the home appliances, smart home appliances in our home. In future, we are going to start using them more. So this is what today we have in IoT. So any queries?